Hi, this is Teacher Julie, and today we will do our challenging math series. I hope that through all this question, it will help you to gain confidence for your PSLE and all the best. Okay, let's read the question. At a wedding, 4/9 of the guests were men and the rest were women. Some men then left the wedding, and the remaining number of men were 2/5 guests. 44 men then joined the wedding. The number of guests in the end was 12 more than the number of guests at first. How many guests were there at first? Okay, let's start. This question is taken from a P6 paper, and I have modified the question a little bit and separated the question into lines, simple to digest information. So the trick is to make the information simple to digest so that you're not overwhelmed by the questions. So, okay, first thing first. At a wedding, 4/9 of the guests were men and the rest were women. So we know that at first, which is before, there were 4 portion or group of guests who were men, and there were a total of 9 groups here. So if you use 9 minus 4, this will be a 5. Okay, let's move to the next information. Some men then left the wedding. So if someone left the wedding, we have to minus. And we minus a question mark. So the next thing is the remaining number of men were 2/5 of the guests. So let's try this color. So 2/5 means 2 is here, total guests 5, and therefore 3 groups of women are here because 5 minus 2 is 3. Okay, then 4 men joined the wedding. So we have a plus 44 here. And finally, they say that the number of guests in the end was 12 more than the number of guests at first. So this sentence is actually comparing number of guests in the end, which is actually at here, compared to the number of guests at first, which is at here. So let's first analyze our unit table. In this unit table, we can see that there is a particular group that didn't change, and of course it must be the women, right? Because nothing happened here, nothing happened here, nothing happened here as well. So by right, 5 groups of women is the same as 3 groups of women. So our job is to use the LCM to make them the same. And the LCM of 3 and 5 is actually equals to 15. So our job now is to make sure that we do this carefully. Multiply by 3 to get 15, and here 3 multiplied by 5 will also get 15. So let's multiply this by 3. So notice that all the green color information must be multiplied by 3, and all the brown color information I have multiplied by 5. So after we have multiplied them, we'll realize that the men here is actually 12 unit. The women here is actually 15 unit. Total is actually 27 unit. Here it is 10 unit. Okay, the number of women at the after 1 is actually 15 unit. Total is actually 25 unit. So we can also see from this that there was a minus 2 unit, because 12 unit minus 10 unit is 2 units. So we know 2 units of men has left the party. Okay, so what happened to the last row? Any idea? So for the last row, what you need to do is, you must remember that this is 10 unit here. And if we plus 44, this is what happened to the number of men in the end. And this is the number of women in the end. So the total here will be 10 unit plus 15 unit, which is 25 unit, and plus 44. Okay, now you can see that at this time, there's one critical information that we didn't use, and it is this one. The number of guests in the end was 12 more than the number of guests at first. But let's digest this sentence first. Some students, they are overwhelmed by this sentence. But it is really not as overwhelming as you think, because this is actually what you have learned at P2. So let's see why. Okay, so now you have the guests in the end and the guests at first. They are comparing these two groups of guests. In the end, it is 12 more. So when you draw your model in the end, it has to be longer than what happened at first, right? Okay, and we know that this is 12 more. So in the end, the number of people is actually 25U plus 44. And at first, okay, this is actually 27U. So for primary 6 math, it's very important to manipulate the figures to create something that is equal. Okay, to create something that is equal, which is why the concept here, units equation, is very important. So how can we make this two equal? So it's very simple. So what happened is, if we use 25U plus 44, okay, is equal, what does it equal to? It's equal to 27 unit plus 12, because if another 12 guests come at first, basically their numbers are equal, right? So then the next thing will be, we have to shift this and find 1 unit, okay? So 1 unit is very important in any questions that you do, especially when you see things like ratio, fraction, percentage, decimal, okay? So some children, they are stuck here, so let me just explain a little bit. So first thing first, okay, we need to know that unit should be at the left side, numbers at the right side. The bigger unit should be at the left side for easier manipulation. So let's rewrite them. Okay, if you are quite good at this, just be patient with me. So right now, you can see that we don't want this one here, and we don't want this one here as well. So here, if this is a plus, we have to take it away. It's a minus 12. So what happened here will be, we have to minus a 12 here, so that the equation is still equal. And here, we have to do a minus 25U. And therefore here, we have to do a minus 25U. Okay, so let me just reorganize everything. 27U minus 25U is actually equal to 44 minus 12. And therefore here, this is 2U, it's equal to 32. And therefore 1U is equals to 32 divided by 2, which is equals to 16. Now that we know 1 unit is 16, then it's game over time for the question, because we can solve anything that we want for this question. Let's take a look. The question asks us, how many guests were there at first? So to find the number of guests at first, we know that it is this unit here, 27 unit. So 27 unit is equals to 27 multiplied by 16, which will give us 432. So we can also ask many other types of questions. Example, what happened to the number of guess in the end. And we know that we just have to find 25 unit plus 44. We can also find out how many women were there at first, which is 15 units. How many women were there in the end? It is still 15 units. We can ask how many men were there at first, which is 12 units. How many men in the end, which is 10 units, plus 44. We can also ask questions like how many more women than men at first, which is 15 units minus 12 units. How many more women than men in the end, which is 15 units minus 10 units plus 44. We can also ask questions, how many more or less guests at first than at the end? For this question, we just have to find the difference between 27 units and 25 units plus 44. Okay, so let us recap what we have learned. So, for this question, we have learned about fraction to unit, where we change all the fractions that we have into numbers that we put into the unit table, and then we readjust it using the LCM. So we also learn about more than and less than, which is actually at this information here. We learn unit equation, where we make the two equations the same so that we can find one unit, and we also learn how to use this unit table. To have more questions like this type, you can actually see it at ISchool.SG, where you can search for the question by keying in the question code number here and click search. So now we have this question, which is the question that I've just taught you, but a slightly different one. And once you click attempt, there are actually a lot of questions that you can try. Okay, and solution will be provided as usual. And you can try to do them, and don't worry if you get it wrong, because the question will actually do many clones for you. So the question has actually unlimited questions for you to do so that you can gain confidence. So every question is different. Okay, children, that's all for today. I hope that you have benefited, and I look forward to see you again. And remember, you are unstoppable if you choose to. All the best for your PSLE. Bye.